Hello, hello, hello. Hey, thank you, Levon. Hello, hello. That's right. Put the popcorns in the chat. Put the popcorns in the chat. So, how you guys doing tonight? That's good. All right. How you doing tonight? How you guys doing tonight? Hey, hey. I know some people out there are out there preparing for Thanksgiving and a meal and everything like that. So that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and play my intro, and and then I'm gonna get right into insecure. Because it's all things insecure. Hey, kid. Hey, boo. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for joining me tonight. If you're catching me now or on the replay, I really appreciate you guys. Um, when you do, if you're here, put the popcorns in the chat. Put the popcorns in the chat, and if you want the replay game, still put the popcorns in the chat. Okay. All right. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I just want to say, hey, cat in the chat. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead to Insecure, episode 4, call it faulty. Okay. All right. So listen, this is off the heels of Issa and the girls. They decided to take a day and relax and go down to the beach. And I'm loving it because it was all the melanin popping up on the beach and everybody looked fabulous. Okay. Issa was serving, Tiffany was serving. I mean, no, not Tiffany yet. Issa was serving, Molly was serving, Kelly. It was so cute. And I love that all the black people that was conversing there. And it definitely was body positive. It showed all body types because that's more realistic. When you go to the beach, you see all beautiful types of bodies and stuff like that. So I love that about that episode, that too. So this is right off of the heels of Issa seeing Nathan, the awkward moment, like we talked about in the past when she had a couple episodes ago when she did Best Showcase for Crenshaw, and she cried in Nathan's arm in the midst of them being intimate or whatever. And it was really awkward, that awkward scene. And I knew it was gonna be awkward. It would be awkward. Realistically, it'll be awkward for you. It'll be awkward for me. Put in the chat if did something that you was a little bit embarrassed about, and then you had to face that person. You haven't talked to them, seen them, and then you see them, and then like awkward much. Okay. So it was like the hey, very awkward exchange. But I loved it. I loved how the whole scene, the vibe, and everything like that. And you know what? I want to fight that ball that hit her in the head because that was actually them playing volleyball on the beach and it hit Issa. So of course that was giving me that was actually the villain of the episode. Okay. So it was so funny to see in two perspectives of it. Issa dealing with the fact that Krishan still she haven't talked to him, and he's on his Twitter talking trash, saying that well, I wouldn't say talking trash. From his perspective, he felt like Issa was fake. For Issa, she was overwhelmed. She did the best that she could. This was her first, her first showcase. Every everywhere give people notes about things, and I think that she tried to handle it the best way she could by representing both the block, Crenshaw, and trying to, handle and juggle things. But it didn't, it worked out in Keyshawn's favor. However, it kind of like threw Issa under the bus. But we're not going to do it. We already talked about that episode. So her seeing Nathan and them talking and have two different perspectives of it, like, um, you know, it was an earthquake in LA. So they had to leave from the beach, and so they decided to go ahead. The barbershop event, they decided to take it to like a local bar or whatever like that and have a good time. So it was really awkward still again. Everybody meet, and Nathan had met up with his cousin. Now I believe that when it's say faulty, okay, it's like whose fault was it about? I guess about communication, because this episode really was about the backstory of Nathan. Because when we get there, we see Nathan cousin. Nathan cousin does and his wife, does offer some little jabs about, some little jabs about Nathan being absent, not being in and out, Ghost Bay, as you say, because that is his nickname or whatever. And Issa, it was they all sitting down having drinks and conversing and having a good time. Molly, on her single girl ish. And her and the guy was talking, and, doing the single thing. Hey, not mad at Molly. And Nathan's cousin and wife put a perspective things like, oh, you know, oh, so he's going to do this. Just a little minor jabs because obviously they haven't discussed or talked about what had happened in the past. And Issa was, trying to have Nathan's back about the whole situation. So as they was leaving, um, we get a little bit more perspective about in this episode Nathan and his cousin when they talk. And I'm going to do this live, and it's going to be really short because I'm doing both 4 and 5. But when we say this episode was really about Nathan, we show that Nathan, the origin of it, like he did Issa, he got ghost when she first met him, when she didn't know where he was, and then he showed up on her birthday, and Molly pushed him away. And then at that moment when she was really vulnerable and sad and overwhelmed about the situation with King Sean, he did not he didn't stay all night, he left her. And it was crazy because he was saying that he was thinking it was really about him. Instead of them calling each other and have a conversation, because I guess it was awkward for both of them, his assumption was she's all over the place. And his friends, his guy friends, from a perspective from them, was like, no, I think she really like you. If y'all out there cuddling and she crying and shit, then maybe, she looking at you a certain way. But is it really Nathan's fault that he was wishy-washy with the whole situation? Because Ethan had putting him in friend zone for a very long time. And when I say friend zone for a very long time, this is almost a year after her and Nathan decided not to be together anymore. And he's been that friend, even though he's been seeing other people's, but I think he's been keeping it open and not really telling Issa that how he really felt. And awkward Issa, she don't know. She's still trying to figure things out, trying to get her passion up and her purpose going, and not really fully dealing with really fully dealing with her situation with Lawrence, processing it all. She probably went from, yeah, this is not what I want, and then bam, jump right into her work instead of really processing her feelings and the loss of the end of her relationship with Lawrence. I want to like him. I want to like him, y'all. I really do. But he makes it so hard. He makes it so hard. Hello, Precious Pisces 69. Thank you for coming in the chat. Make sure you put the popcorns in the chat. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Please, please, and engage. Thank you for coming. You could be out there, seasoning your meat, soaking those collard greens, but decide to come over here and talk about insecure with me. Okay, thank you. All right, so we do get at the end that Nathan and his cousin really talked because the wife decided to leave and they decided to go somewhere else for the end of the night. And they had a talk, and I really wanted to say that the volleyball was the true villain for hitting for hitting Issa while she was in her, her beach ready best. I also want to say I'm gonna take a jab at Nathan's cousin too, because the wife, apparently Nathan was living with them, and at the time they didn't know that Nathan didn't know that he was being manic, coming in and out, spazzing out, not contributing to the household and everything like that. So they had to kick him out. And he had a conversation with his cousin and was like, all about those things that was happening and why he hasn't, why he kicked him out. And actually, he was like, well, your wife kicked him out. He was like, actually, it was me, but he left the burden on the wife. How do you feel about that? That made me feel some kind of way that he had his wife kick his cousin out. Like he didn't have the basketballs, the footballs, soccer balls, the tennis balls to do it himself. So he put it on his lady. And you know what? That's indicative to a lot of things that happen when somebody, when it's awkward, they and they're in a relationship, and they always make it seem like your wife don't like you, oh, or your girl don't like me, oh, she all right. But it's probably because you're telling your partner, your wife, spouse, or whatever, shit about your cousin or your family members, and makes them feel a certain way, and they look at them, but then you try to put it all on the person. If you understand what I'm getting for. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. They didn't even have golf balls. He put it all on his wife to kick his own cousin out. And then he finally told him that, and making it seem like it was all on the wife, when it really was a mutual situation where I think as a man and as his cousin, I don't like that. But that is a trend and a habit that I've seen in the past, instead of the guy being upfront and confrontation doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Confronting somebody, like I said, is not always a bad thing. If you sit down and have a conversation and tell the root of it and lead with love and respect, then some people can receive it and some people cannot. But at least tried to handle the situation the best way you can. You know, damn, his cousin was the side villain in that episode, but it offered Nathan some clarity on why they did that. And when Nathan talked to Issa and he said, I'm sorry that I left, you crying. She was like, it wasn't about you. I was just overwhelmed. Ding, 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 ding. We said that. We said that. We said that she was so overwhelmed from her day. She didn't want it to end. And then all things crashing down, that she said that she was overwhelmed. And he said that, he communicated with Issa about how you can't change how people see you. And that's true because Crenshaw, why I keep calling him Crenshaw? Crenshaw sees Issa a certain way, as a sellout, and Nathan, cousin, doesn't see him in the best light either, So I'm glad that they had that talk, and he communicated with Issa back when he was manic, and he didn't know he was manic at the time. He was being ghost bay and he was acting out, and they had kicked him out. But he's not that same Nathan as he was before. But do they really see him that way? And it's hard when someone that you care about is going through some things, but you don't understand the root of it all. So you're thinking, maybe his family thinking like, yo, he's being disrespectful and he don't care about anything. But if they know that he's man, that he deal with bipolar, then they will see him in a different light. And I really do. And I think that the Black community right now is taking really, good strides on acknowledging that, at least based on my experience and what I've been seeing as of late. So what do you guys think? You know, him communicating that with Issa, and they both connected on that. You know, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. So at the end of that, them talking, Nathan, communicating with Issa about, that he didn't know he was manic and he's not the same person. And they both did connect on in the same thing. Crenshaw seeing Issa as a sellout, and I don't think Issa actually is a sellout. Um, they communicate about how they felt about each other, and they decided to try to take it to the next step. And it ain't gonna work out, y'all. It ain't. You know, but it is insecure, and we shall see how it plays out. So that was episode 4 on Faulty. Who was at fault? Both lack of communication, awkwardness, and truly, you really cannot change how people see you. You can try, but it's definitely hard once. People say, once you show yourself to me, you only have to show yourself one time. And I think that's not necessarily true with everything, because sometimes you if you have self-awareness, if you see that you do something with a pattern over time, and you notice that it's giving negative effects, it's giving a negative effects on your life and people that you care around you, and affects your daily lives and work, and you start reflecting, and then you take strides to change. So I really do think that is not necessarily true, but it was a good point that he has made on that episode. So I love that episode. I love that episode. I always love that episode. Okay, call Faulty. All right. And I'm going to say my favorite part. Oh, let's head out to the highlight of it. And I'm going to say is, damn, what is his name? He's a comedian that I know him from Facebook, that I know him from and he is from he's always selling out. If you remember what his name, put his name in the chat, but he really wanted to see Jason Derulo, okay? Every time he come here to Philly, he's always sold out. I can never see him when he comes to Philly. But I think he's amazing. I think he was the star of it. That's a shame. I can't even think of his name at this time. But I really do believe he was the star of this episode. And this episode also gave us clarity, and it was truly about Nathan, the origin of Nathan. And I don't think Nathan, I think Nathan is not the same Nathan as we found out, because now that he know that he's manic and he's aware of his mental health, and he's been a good friend to Issa. But I think this is where I think friendship is where they should stay. That's all I think. That's what I think. I think. Hello, Regina Snow. Hello. Put the popcorns in the chat. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. All right. So let's go ahead and body roll to episode 5. Okay. Episode 5 is giving surviving okay. All right. So I'm not going to break down scene by scene or lane by lane. I'm going to give y'all, we're just going to talk about the remix of Surviving Okay, because I really think this is like pivotal to about having your effects, your things in order. Okay. So this episode starts out, the good sis Molly, and I'm calling her the good sis because I really see Molly has changed. It's nothing fake. I really see that she's really taking strides to be a better friend, be a better person, and even at work. But we're going to get into that though. Okay. So Molly, she comes up, Molly, doing her thing with some boo thing, okay? And she get a call that her mom's in the hospital. Child. She gets to the damn hospital. Thank you. Thank you. She gets to the hospital, her family, and what happened? Her mom, The family gets there and they give them information like, yeah, it's time for you to say your last goodbyes. And then it was the wrong patient. Yo, I would have been like ready. I would have been like, let's fight. But there's a time and place, a time and place, a time and place for everything. But that was crazy. Tell them they had to start getting saying their last goodbyes and it was the wrong person. Then they turned around, it was another family that came there. How awkward was that? That's crazy. Hello, Miss Val. Hello, 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 hello. Yes. So, that was very awkward. But they get to go see their mom. And unfortunately, mom is not in the best position. And um this kind of tug on my, heartstrings a little bit because when years prior to my dad announcing that he was sick, um I asked my parents to make sure that they have a last will and testament and a living will. I needed to know what their wishes were, what was going on, what do they need to have, and I really thought that I just wanted to know that, and I did it in a space, and it was, and a lot of times in the Black community, in our community, you know, I'll get to it. This it is what it is, but it's really important to know what your last will and testament is, and your living will to have a last will and testament and have a living will. It really, truly is. And I got they told me their wishes and everything like that. It wasn't even 3 years later, my dad got sick. My dad suddenly passed away. But in the midst of it, my dad wishes was do not, if I am in a position where I am I have to if you have to bring me home in a hospital bed and take care of me and have machines keep me alive, I do not want that. I do not want that. And I thought that was and that was his, and that was his wishes. So when my dad, I don't want to be a Debbie Down, but when my dad flatlined for the third time, they came and said, listen, if he flatlines again, you know, we're going to have to put him on life support. And that was my dad wishes. But had I not had that document to say that, my mom was like, yeah, my mom looked at me and was like, well, what you want to do? And I'm like, that's not my dad wishes. He specifically said, if that was the case, do not have a machine keep me alive. And we honored that. We honored his wishes, and he had all the documentation, all his affairs in order. It was definitely we didn't think that it was going to happen 2 years later, but it's very, very important to have your affairs in order. It's a tough conversation, but that conversation do not have to, you know, it can be done over a course of a week or so like that. You know, it really can be done and it's easy. It's easy to implement, but probably not easy to, discuss, but it's very necessary. So I said that with being said that even we had that document, my mind automatically went to put him on life support. I want my husband to be there where I'm like, Mom, that wasn't his wishes. And she had to say, like, you're right, you're right, you're right. So going back to that, Molly was like, y'all didn't finish y'all, estate planning. And the dad was like, no, we didn't, that's not the worry about right now. We just didn't get around to it. Folks, I don't care where you are, how young you are, how mature of an age you are, make sure you please get your affairs in order. That's all I ask. If you didn't take any, if there's any takeaways from this last episode about surviving, okay. So in true fashion, Molly, she had left, she had on her, her grown woman last night clothes on, okay? And I'm not gonna say walk of shame because there's nothing to be ashamed about. She was having a good time, you know what I'm saying? And she called Issa to let Issa know what was going on. And her and Nathan was there together. And she was at Nathan's place. Did you notice when Nathan got up? He was taking his meds. So, he's doing what he needs to do to keep his mental health, healthy. That's right. That's right. Get those shooting stars in the chat for Evangelist Val. That's Miss Val. That's right. Get those shooting stars in the chat. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Yes. So my thing is, so of course she get there, she's dressed down, Molly in her, cute little outfit, and they switch outfits, and she was like, I'm there for you, and is there anything I can do? And that's where the friendship part come in at. And I loved it. That's why I'm calling Molly the good sis. She has truly taken the time to really take care of herself, truly to nurture their friendship together, and try to take a step back from nobody's perfect. Nobody's relationships are perfect. Even her parents, all of our parents, even if we had grandparents that about, oh, my grandparents stayed together for 50 years. My parents together, my parents together long before I was born. Okay. And my father passed away when I was 40. That was 6 years ago, you know? So here you have it. So, yes, we do love you. Yes, we do. Put them shiny stars, shooting stars. Yes. So, so right there you can see that dynamics of Nathan dropping her off. She's talking with not Molly, she's being there for Molly, and they exchange clothes. And of course, Issa like, hey, look at me, and don't I look cute? They both were serving bods, so I loved it. And this is where again we see Issa goes to Molly's house, and she knew that she, had to get something for her to wear, switch outfits, and she had to get Flavor Flav, okay? Flavor Flav the dog. And it's so funny. So her and Nathan just sitting there, taking a walk, taking Flavor Flav a walk, fed him, eat him, try to take care of her fur baby. And he got away. But honestly, was they really trying to find him? They were so caught up in the newness of their relationship. Poor Flavor Flav. Poor Flav. But thank God he was really smart. Thank God he was really smart that he found his way home, as Nathan said. It was like, his dog, you know, his dog was lost, and he found his way home once he got home. And them talking and having a good day and allowing each other to be vulnerable, taking a deep dive of each other's past. Molly mom calling, and she was like, who are you talking to? And she was like, Nathan. And Nathan was like, she's like, and Nathan said that he was her boyfriend. And she looked and was like, oh, okay, I guess we are doing this. And of course, near the end, when Flavor Flav found his way home, I'm going to just pause right there. They really was not really trying to find Flav. I mean, they were, but they were just caught up in the newness of them rekindling. Poor Flav, you know. But when you first in the beginning of a relationship, those, for our single people, when you those first 90 days or whatever, getting to know somebody, you do be all smitten, you care about other things, but you do be all smitten. And I think Nathan was a great distraction for the moment to be supportive of Issa, so she can be able to pour on to Molly and be the friend that Molly needs her to be when she can be, when she can be there. And she takes she you know they sat back and they talk after the revelation of Nathan saying that he was her boyfriend. Issa told Nathan she loved him. And he didn't say I love you too. Yo, he didn't say I love you too. I had to wet my whistle. How do you feel about that? Have you ever, somebody in the chat, somebody in the chat, definitely, somebody in the chat, give me a time that, a brief time. I know somebody in the chat has said I love you to somebody that they were with first and they didn't say it back right away. How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? That was so awkward. The awkward black girl. It was, but it is embarrassing. So it wasn't like he said. I mean, he didn't do a Han Solo on her and say when she said "I love you" when he said "I know." You know what I mean? He didn't do a Han Solo, but he did reach over and kiss her, but he didn't say "I love you too." Hmm. Wow. Yeah, it is embarrassing. I would be like, let me see what Kat says. That ain't happened to me, but if it did, I would definitely. Yo, that has happened to me, but they eventually said that they loved me probably like a week or two later. And how did that make me feel? I was like, oh, okay. Oh. And I really was like stressing about it for a couple days, and then I was like, you know what? I've been given this relationship or, some thought. I allow myself to be vulnerable way sooner and stuff like that than he have. So if he don't love me, he don't love me. I'm not going to trip. You know what I mean? It's not been like it's been like 8 years and he never said it. So, but he eventually did say that he loved me. But that was crazy, right? You never say it first. Yeah, I think I said it first, like, I don't know, probably once or twice ever. Yeah, after that, I never said it again, like, first. No, he don't love anybody. I don't think that Nathan will be in love with Issa. I think Nathan wants to redeem himself and probably make himself like he's a better partner than Nathan could be for her, or he's better. But no, I agree. He don't love her. He don't love her. Where is oh my gosh, where is Q? Because I know he'll say my hair, it don't move. My hair, it don't move. Yeah, I don't think he love her. And that's a good point, and that's a good perspective to say. I don't think he love her, you know. And I'm glad he didn't say I love you too, if he don't mean it. So it is what it is. She gets back to the hospital to be with Molly. And Molly, cute little Adidas outfit. I think it was Ivy Park. I'm not really sure, but she was serving. What's so funny? I know Q would say that shit. I know Q would be like, her hair, it don't move. So going back, she gets to the hospital later in the day. Favorite Flav is home safe. He's walked, he peed, he's fed. She changed her clothes, and of course, so Regina is saying that men are simply creatures. If he don't say "I love you," he don't. That's true. Yeah, he don't. Yeah, he don't. That, and I agree with that. I agree with that. So don't say it first. Don't say it first. All right. So guess who she ran into at the hospital with their little baby bootstrap? Lawrence and Condola. Baby, the baby. And that's not unrealistic for their paths to cross. But ain't that crazy? 17 minutes ago, she just told old boy that she loved him, and then bam, she runs into Lawrence. And then I know that was like a gut punch, like, oh, because she know that is real. He has a baby, but seeing it with your own eyes is a different beast. So I know she was feeling all kinds of ways. And I know Lawrence Itchbay as once again gonna be in his feelings because I really truly believe he resents the fact that he had the baby. Not that he don't love his baby. He's happy his baby's healthy and here, but overall resent the fact that he have a baby and it's not with Issa. And knowing that it's not with Issa and the baby is not is the reason is one of the sole reasons that Issa was like, I can't do this. I can't wait to episode. I can't believe this is episode 5, y'all. Episode 5. It is halfway through the series finale. That is so crazy, right? That is so crazy. So what do you guys but that's all I have for my little recap. When it take too much time. Yes, I did episode 4 and 5, just a little remix of it all. You know. And you agree with me, Kat. Okay, Kat in the chat agrees with me that I feel like he really does um resent her. He resent, yeah. I think he yeah, I think he resent the whole thing that I think he resent Condola a little bit. But hopefully they're in a good, co-parenting space. I hope Condola is a little bit open about, the baby being with Lawrence a little bit. I know it's hard for when you postpartum. It really truly is. But hopefully she's in a space where baby steps where she's allowing a space where, he can have his baby and all that stuff. But you know what? It's not really about them three. Okay. It's about Issa and Molly. Because I could be done with their story, even though they had one of the best episodes of the series. But what do you guys think in relationships? Have anybody had dated someone who cheated on them and made a baby? Have everybody did that? That's crazy. Have anybody in the chats? Girl, I understood you. We understood you. Okay. And yeah, how did you? I know that it was truly difficult, and I really don't blame the woman. I blame the man because I blame whomever you in a relationship with. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that you have a commitment with. whatever commitment that you have with each other, that's who you two met. Oh yeah, which one? Oh, make sure y'all put the plant in the chat for T'Challa and Rafiki. Okay, put the plants in the chat because they always here by my side. Okay, put the plants in the chat for them. But yeah, have anybody in the, just lighthearted. This is lighthearted, nothing too deep. But you have someone in your family or someone that you cared about that have done, you can say yes or no, or just put a plant in the chat. They have dealt with that were, you know, manic but didn't know it. So you was a little bit harsh to judge or thinking that, they were just disrespectful or rude, but when you later found out that it was mental health issues, did you show them a little bit more grace, you know? Or did you show them a little bit more grace? Yes. There you go. It's always to show a little bit more grace. Yeah, thank y'all. Y'all always here. They always got my back. What about I'm sure, have you ever dated someone that ghost you? How did you deal with that? Because Nathan is Ghost Bay, and I feel like he's going to ghost Easter anyway, eventually. Again. Yeah, I did, but I still had to get away. Understand. Yep. Mm-hmm. Crazy, right? Well, I was stood up for a date like a month ago. That bastard. You know what? Did he call and say something happened later on, days later? Let me tell you. Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you my story when I got ghosted, right? So this guy, kept going out. He wanted to go out with me. He kept calling. We were conversing, talking, all that stuff. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go out this date." Blah 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 boom. I think we made the day for like the weekend, and he called me like on a Tuesday and set it up. We talked on Tuesday. We talked on Wednesday. We talked on Thursday. Right. I didn't hear from him on Friday. So Saturday come, bastard. He ain't say nothing. He ain't ish. So, all right, let me tell you the story. Right. So I was stood up, right? So I hear from him on Thursday. So I heard from him Tuesday, texting, even talking on the phone, texting, talk on the phone. What Thursday, texting, talk on the phone, and didn't hear from him Thursday. So Saturday, what I mean, I am getting ready for doing my daily, whatever I do. So Saturday afternoon, I was like, damn, I ain't hear from him last night, but it wasn't no big. We were talking all week. So I guess he'll reconvene with me today. So it was like getting like early afternoon, text him, no respond. Call him, no respond. Now, mind you, we were talking for like weeks and met up like a time or two leading up to this actual date, right? He he I did not have more compassion for real. He can't help it, but yeah. So yeah, that was rude. So I didn't hear from so I'm all like, okay, I called him I text him, didn't hear from him. Early afternoon, late afternoon, check my phone, called him, didn't hear nothing, didn't hear anything from him. So I'm like, oh wow, late afternoon, early evening, nothing. Didn't hear from him, right? Nothing. Sorry, didn't hear anything from him. So I so I just went on about my night, like I didn't I pivoted. I was like, oh really, wow, but I just kept it moving, right? So I hear from him Sunday night. Now our date was supposed to be Saturday. I hear from him Sunday night, and he gave me this long soliloquy, like, I had to take my son here, and he had to get this done and this done. Mind you, his son was like high in the teens. His son wasn't like elementary school age. He was like a teenager, like self-sufficient. Like I think he was like 16, 17, his son was. And I was really hoping that um I really hope that you forgive me, but I had to, and I was running around. I had to give him some medicine. I had to take care of him. He had to get braces that day. And I'm like, okay, but you couldn't call me. Then he's like, and then I fell asleep. And I hope you could forgive me for that. And I said, I forgive you, but you can't get back my time. And I'm good. I'm good. And then he gonna say, well, I was hoping to date you for a purpose so we can, later on, go into a relationship. Fuck no. No. You gave me you conjured up. I'd rather for him to say that I was in an emergency room or I had the BGs and I was too embarrassed to go out because I had the bubble guts or something. Something, but that no. Nope. Nope. And I should have known it was a red sign when he was riding around in his car and he worked every day and his air conditioner was broken. It was the summertime. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because I would have had to meet him anywhere. It was the summertime. Nope. That was a red flag. That was a red flag for me. So yeah, that was a time. Yeah, he tried it. Oh yeah, he did. Talking about he want me to forgive him and then continue to date so we can continue to date and be in a relationship. No. Mm-mm. No. We could be cool, but I'm not giving you my time like that anymore. Mm-mm. No. Nope. 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 Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Hmm. And I never stood anybody up on a date. I've always told them if I wasn't going to make it. Yup. Exactly. Bye. I mean, he tried a couple more times after a while, but I was like, no, I'm good. I mean, if I see you at a party or with mutual friends, or I see you at a basketball, the Sixers game, that's cool, but no one on ones. No more. Mm-mm. And before I close out, I just want to close out with this. Do you have your affairs in order? Do you have life insurance for yourself? If so, do you have a beneficiary? If you have a house, do you have a living will, last will, and testament? If so, if not, I think you really should get on it. I think if you, as an adults, we really have to take care of our business and make sure our business are in line and do what needs to be done. And you should have a cat in the chat, not unless it was an emergency or something like his grandmother fell down the stairs or something. You know what? If you know how Black people we love our grandmoms. If he would have said something about grandma, I wouldn't have said nothing. I'd have been like, yo, I know you was going through it because I know how it was about my grandma. I know how it is about my kids with their grandma. If he would have sent me a text like, yo, I got a family matter, I would have just fought back. Whether it was a lie or not, I don't care. When it comes to family, I definitely would have fell back. He could have said that. He definitely could have fell back on that one. But I do want to extend this saying that, you know what? Um, thank you first of all, thank you for joining me on the eve of Thanksgiving. If you choose so to if you do celebrate it or not. If not, just make sure you love on your family, love on your loved ones, love on your friends, love on yourself. Okay? Make sure you not only love on yourself, make sure you take the steps to take care of your business because and communicate and make sure you have those documents in place because you never know. And I love you guys. And I see you next time coming up. I'm going to drop the Love Lounge. And later on, I may come on a live tonight and we're going to talk about news that you cannot use. So I hope you come back and join me tonight for a late night live. And that's okay. If you want to come and join me, you don't have to be, um, we're not going to be, it's going to be avatar face only because I know we out here trying to prepare for tomorrow and Thursday, if those who are doing it. And I just want to say that I love you guys. And you know what? Until next time, put the popcorns in the chat. Put the popcorns in the chat. Put the hearts in the chat. And I just want to give a shout out to those all things popcorn because these are all things that I love. And I want to give a shout out to Kat in the chat. Make sure you please creatively Kat like and subscribe to her channel, Lavon's Library. Make sure you like, subscribe, and go to their channel. And make sure you like and subscribe Red Labels and Confessions and Reactions. Make sure you like and subscribe to that. And make sure you like this video or dislike this video. Comment in the chat like, girl, I don't know what you was talking about. A leopard don't change its spine. And girl, how dare you should have gave that man another chance. Not. In the comment or if you're in a replay. And I will see you. I'm going to be over on Evangelist Vows for her Friendsgiving here on Friday. On Friday, Sunday again. Tonight I'm going to do another live for news you can use. Period. Yes. Oh, there you go. There you go. Q. Q's in the chat. Q's in the chat. Put the drip in the chat. Put the drip. Put the Stacey Adams in the chat. Yes. I told him Q that you was going to say my hair. It don't move. I knew you was going to say that. So until next time, you guys, thank you. And you guys have a good night. See you on the live in soon.